Welcome to the channel. Sometimes gluten-free baking doesn't go how we plan. It just isn't the same as traditional baking with flour, and we run into some challenges. With gluten-free quick breads and muffins, some of the questions are, why are my muffins mushy in the middle? With a quick bread, maybe your question is, why is my quick bread crumbly and not moist and tender like other quick breads? I have some of those questions, and I bet you have a couple of them too. So today, let's go over some questions that you may be asking about quick breads and muffins and what you can do to try to fix those issues. I'm Jamie with SavorySaver. I share gluten-free recipes, tips, tricks, and resources to make your gluten-free lifestyle easier. So let's get started. Question number one, why is my gluten-free quick bread or muffins, why are they crumbly? For this question, you have to remember what gluten does. It's the binder that holds everything together in those baked goods. No gluten, no binder. So your quick bread or your muffins may need some extra binder. For those problems, try adding an extra egg or maybe some xanthan gum, especially if your flour blend doesn't have it. Both of these offer binding, so hopefully you won't have that same crumbly texture and your bread or muffins will hold together better. Why is it dense? It's because it doesn't have enough lift. There's nothing lifting that up while it's in the oven baking, or there's not enough of that lift while it's baking. One thing you can try is some gluten-free baking powder. Baking powder is heat activated, so when it hits the oven, that's when it starts working, and that can create some lift in your gluten-free baked products. Maybe it needs an egg. In addition to binding, it also can help with the lift. So maybe that's your problem if this doesn't work. Hopefully that will fix your dense quick bread or muffins. Why are my muffins gritty? Gritty is something that is a big problem with gluten-free baking. There are some products that are a little better now because the gluten-free blends have gotten better. But grittiness usually is because the other ingredients, especially the liquid and the dry ingredients, have not had enough time to hydrate together. The thing that can help that is letting your batter rest. So set a timer for 15 minutes, even 30 minutes, and let that batter rest so it can hydrate more and help with that gritty texture. One thing I do relatively often is I will mix up a batter and then I turn my oven on to preheat because that's gonna give me about 15 minutes of rest time in that batter. So instead of preheating at the beginning of your recipe when you start baking, wait until the batter's mixed and then preheat. Hopefully that will help with the gritty texture that you're getting in your recipes. Why is my quick bread dry? Quick breads are known for how moist and tender they tend to be. So you don't want a bread that's dry, and gluten-free baked products dry out faster typically anyway. The obvious thing is to add more liquid, but a couple things that you can try instead of straight liquid, maybe some sour cream. It'll add a little bit more fat, it'll add a little bit more liquid, but it's not gonna be something like water or milk. If you don't have sour cream, maybe try some yogurt of some kind. Yogurt can have the same effect as sour cream. Just make sure you're using a yogurt that is appropriate for the recipe. Obviously, you don't want vanilla yogurt in something if you don't want it to taste like vanilla. So you might want to opt for a plain yogurt. The final question, why are my gluten-free muffins or quick breads mushy? While you may like gooey brownies, you don't want gooey gluten-free quick breads and muffins. They're just not any good. What you may need to do is lower that oven temperature and extend the baking time. Lowering the oven is going to allow for a longer bake without it over baking and baking too fast, and the extra time will give it time to cook through. So grab the timer, lower your oven maybe 10 degrees, maybe 25 degrees, and bake it longer. Quick breads and muffins are done typically when that toothpick comes out clean. So just adjust it down, adjust your time up, and keep checking it until they're baked through. Guys, that's all I have for this video. I hope that answers some questions on some things you can do when you're making gluten-free muffins or quick breads and they're not coming out how you like, or if you're converting a recipe from a traditional recipe into gluten-free and it's not cooking like the traditional recipe does. Maybe some of those questions and solutions will help get your baked goods back to where you want them. That's all I've got for today. Leave me any of your tips and hints below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.